So how you feel this morning, Matt? I'm sick, but that's okay because it's still Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. This is your daily crypto news, and we're here to figure out what's happening in the crypto space. Be sure that you send me an email if you like, matt@dailycryptonews.net. Follow us on Twitter @DCNDailyCrypto. Same thing on Substack. Let's get into it. Today's the day. Today's the day that we finally get more crypto on the traditional markets. Yes, a spot Ethereum ETF will finally hit U.S. markets after the Securities and Exchange Commission said yes to the product in May and signed them off for trading yesterday. What is a spot ETF? Well, this is going to calm all of our traditional investors down a little bit because the fund allows investors to buy shares and track the prices of Ethereum on the traditional markets. Traditional investors can finally get exposure to Ethereum on the traditional stock market exchanges. So that means to the moon, yeah? Well, let's just calm down for a second because there's mixed feelings about this. Greg Mangadini, he's a derivatives director at Amber Data. He says, I think the inflows are going to disappoint. Before Bitcoin ETFs launched, traders were eager for exposure, creating a buzz in the derivatives market. This enthusiasm is missing for Ethereum, suggesting demand might be lower. So what does James Butterfill say? He's the head of research at CoinShares. Funny last name too, Butterfill. Anyway, he highlighted another potential downside. Grayscale, as we all know. He said that the asset manager will launch two products, a main ETF and a mini one. The main one will convert a closed-ended fund into an ETF. He said because they're converting it into an ETF, they're easier to cash out. And it's expected that investors will want to cash out quickly, as happened with Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, putting downward pressure on the Ethereum price. He said it's likely for the first couple weeks, it'll be marred by outflows from the Grayscale Ethereum product, similar to what we saw in the Bitcoin closed-ended fund. But Patrick Felder, he is the founder and CIO of Prismatic Capital, he expects market flows to be around 15 to 25% of what they saw in Bitcoin ETFs. If the inflows exceed this, then Ethereum prices will increase significantly, meaning moon. Just FYI, I'm recording this at around 8:28 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. The stock market should open in about an hour. And so in preparation of this new Ethereum ETF, Grayscale sent around $1.01 billion to Coinbase Prime. And it caused people to start speculating that Grayscale might be preparing for a sell-off to reinvest in other crypto. Maybe Solana. Managing partner at crypto hedge fund Next Digital and formerly associated with Coin Fund and BlackRock dismissed these claims, saying that Grayscale is unlikely to reallocate its Ethereum hodlings. But what he is interested in seeing this is what the outflows are going to look like. Look, Grayscale is expected to maintain a 2.5% fee on their ETH Ethereum Spot ETF fund. Basically, it's 10 times higher than everyone else. It's the same thing they did with the Bitcoin Spot ETF. Lots of outflows. People were taking the money out, people reallocating funds to cheaper ETFs. But in this case, I think they learned from their own mistakes. They have a little mini fund. It's a lower cost ETF with a 15 basis point fee. So basically, they made their own little ecosystem. They know that their other ETF product is going to be very expensive, like I said, 10x everybody else. But then they made this little mini fund with a 15 basis point fee. So if you want to have outflows from Grayscale, you could just keep it in-house and invest in this little mini fund with a 15 basis point fee. Kind of like locking up your money all in Grayscale. Will it work? We will see. Well, apparently today is ETF News Day because yesterday Bitcoin's ETF had its highest single day of inflows since March. Matt, how much would that be? Well, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, or ticker IBIT, drew in $526.7 million of inflows. BlackRock alone has drawn nearly $19.5 billion in funds. Now, even though BlackRock had a huge day yesterday, the remaining 10 United States listed ETFs didn't do so well. Altogether, they attracted just around $6.9 million of inflows. And if you're looking at Bitcoin's price, you're like, hey, it's stable from yesterday, but it went down a little bit. We're at 68,000. Now we're going to figure out what we're at today. Is it 66, 67? And a lot of people were thinking that it was going to go down a little bit more than it did. Why? Because Mt. Gox trustee moved more than $2.8 billion worth of Bitcoin to two different wallets. One of the wallets received around $340 million and the other $2.5 billion. If you guys remember, just a week ago, Kraken confirmed that they received funds from Mt. Gox, and they'll start distributing those funds to creditors before the end of July. That caused the market to go, hey, what the hell's going on here? Are we going to have a dump on the market? Seems like the market is a little bit more used to large amounts of Bitcoin being moved around, and they didn't panic yesterday. And finally, Michael Ho, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of mining company HUD-8, won a unanimous jury verdict in his breach of contract lawsuit against Marathon Digital Holdings. And Marathon Digital has been fined $138 million after being found guilty of breaching a non-disclosure or a non-circumvention agreement. So what happened? In 2020, Michael Ho developed a growth strategy for Marathon Digital, which included a large-scale Bitcoin mining facility. Marathon breached their non-circumvention agreement by using Ho's strategy without compensating him. This led to an unanimous jury verdict in Ho's favor, and they emphasized the importance of ethical business practices and honoring contracts. Despite the lawsuit, Marathon Digital remains the largest Bitcoin mining firm with a market cap of around $6.77 billion, and it continues to grow as we speak. Speaking of speaking and speaking of growing, let's see if Bitcoin and the price in the crypto market grew overnight.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 8:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Fear Greed is at 63. We are barely greedy. Sad, because Bitcoin's sitting at $66,490. It's down 1.6% in 24, still up almost 4 in 7. Ethereum's at 3,500 even from yesterday, up 2 in the week, but we're gonna have to see what happens in about an hour when the Ethereum spot ETF starts to trade. It's gonna go up or down, one of the two. Tether's number 3. Binance is at 584, down 2.6%, and Solana is at 174, down 3.4%, still up on the week. Right off the top 10, we have USDC, XRP at 59.3 cents, down 3.2, Dogecoins at 13.3, down 3.6, Toncoins at $6.88, down 2.2, and Cardano's at 42.1, down 3.6. The total market cap is down 1.4 at 2.42 trillion. A Bitcoin dominance of 54.3 and an ETH dominance of 17.4. And that was our show. My name is Matt. I'll be back tomorrow. Let's see what happens to the Ethereum price. Be careful out there. And until tomorrow, happy hodling, everyone.